In this 25th anniversary year of September 11th, the Tunnel to Towers Foundation continues to honor America's heroes. Heroes like Fire Lieutenant Michael Wells, who was inspired by 9/11 to serve his community. After 14 dedicated years of service, he lost his battle with occupational cancer, leaving behind his wife, Katie, and their 3 children. Tunnel to Towers honored Lieutenant Wells by paying off the family's mortgage in recognition of his sacrifices. Donate $11 monthly and amplify your impact with a car or land donation. Go to T2T.org.
Listen, all you New Yorkers. Excuse me, taxi.
Okay, man, we're looking around.
This is the 77 WABC minicast. Breaking news.
And Jimmy Kimmel doubling down on comments that he made about the First Lady, not showing any sign of remorse, saying, "Oh, I was just making a joke, no big deal." Not saying he's sorry, not saying he didn't mean to offend anybody. He's just like, essentially, too bad. Kind of like the comments that we've heard from many Democratic politicians. And here is Jimmy Kimmel. Here he is defending the indefensible joke. Take a listen.
You know how sometimes you wake up in the morning and the First Lady puts out a statement demanding you be fired from your job? We've all been there, right? You've been there, right, Guillermo?
Yeah, sure.
What a day. As you know, they had to cancel the White House Correspondents' Dinner in Washington on Saturday night after a man with multiple guns and knives crashed the party and may have shot a Secret Service officer. Fortunately, the guy was wearing a bulletproof vest and is okay. They're not sure exactly what happened, but they got the guy. He was charged today. No one was hurt, thank goodness. A lot of people were shaken up on a night that is supposed to be lighthearted. The White House Correspondents' Dinner, if you don't know, it used to be an annual event before Trump showed up. But every year they'd have a comedian roast the room. The president, the vice president, members of the press, everybody got roasted. I did it once. I hosted it. It was a lot of fun. But this year they said, no comedian. We're bringing in a mentalist instead. So on Thursday, 3 days before the event, in order to keep that cherished tradition alive, I did my own version of the Correspondents' Dinner on my show. I put on a tuxedo. We pretended we had an audience of luminaries. We used old footage of the Trumps, of Pete Hegseth, J.D. Vance, Kid Rock, Vanilla Ice, all the members of his cabinet. And we made it seem like they were all together in a room. We had a little roast. Again, this was Thursday, and there was no big reaction to it until this morning when I greeted the day facing yet another Twitter vomit storm. And a call to fire me from our First Lady, Melania Trump, saying I should be fired because of a joke I made, again, 5 nights ago. It was a pretend roast. I said, our First Lady Melania is here. Look at her, so beautiful. Mrs. Trump, you have a glow like an expectant widow, which obviously was a joke about their age difference and the look of joy we see on her face every time they're together. It was a very light roast joke about the fact that he's almost 80 and she's younger than I am. It was not by any stretch of the definition a call to assassination, and they know that. I've been very vocal for many years speaking out against gun violence.
I mean, did you hear anything there that sounded like an apology? It was like, no, I was just making a joke. No big deal. Because they don't think that there's anything wrong with essentially calling for the assassination of the president, saying that he should be dead. And then getting people who actually act these things out around the same time. You can't say, of course, that the guy Cole Allen was listening to Jimmy Kimmel, but it's certainly in an environment where you call him Hitler and you call him a tyrant and you call him all of these things. And then you got late night mocking him and saying, you know, an expectant widow. It seems to normalize. It's this normalization of violence that I just find particularly troubling. And I feel like we are on such a dangerous slope that after this third attempt, there's going to be more attempts. And there's been many more, I'm sure, that we just never heard about because the last thing they want to do is put it out there. But these were so public that they had to put it out there. And you think about, they're not doing anything that's going to dampen the flames. If anything, they are intensifying the flames. They're putting fuel on it because they want these things to happen. They're hoping there's going to be more problems for Trump. and hoping more problems for his family. And we're even hearing from Democrats that on day one, their mission is to impeach Donald Trump. They don't know for what. They'll find something. They don't know for what, but they'll just hopefully pray that happens. And then they're going to try to push through. Can you imagine if they can push through, if they get the House, they'll impeach not just Trump. If they have the votes, they're going to impeach like every member of the cabinet, current and former, at least the main ones. Then if they get the Senate, they will try to remove. That's where the power is in the Senate. And then if they get the White House, open borders all over again. Welcome to America in chaos yet again. All for the sake of dirty, dirty politics.
The playoffs are here, and you can predict the action all the way to the finals with FanDuel Predicts. Predict the spread, the total points, and even the game-winning moments that make the playoffs. Sign up and get a $25 bonus with FanDuel Predicts.
Offered by FanDuel Prediction Markets, LLC, a registered futures commission merchant. 18-plus bonus is non-withdrawable and expires 7 days after receipt. Trading derivatives involves significant risk and may not be suitable for all investors. Manage your activity with their consumer protection tools. Restrictions apply. See terms at FanDuel.com/predicts/bonus-offer-terms.